everyone, welcome back to Velvet Moment. Have you ever noticed how the most honest moments in life don't always come from loud laughter or dramatic scenes? They don't always announce themselves. They don't ask to be remembered. Sometimes, the moments that stay with us the longest are the ones that happen quietly, the ones that last only a few seconds, the ones that almost slip past our eyes, the ones that feel unintentional and unscripted. And yet, those are often the moments that carry the deepest meaning. When all 7 BTS members finally came back together, sitting in one room that felt more like home than a stage, there was one small moment that happened incredibly fast. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't emphasized by the camera. It wasn't designed to become a highlight. But that moment quietly made so many people stop, rewind, and think, wait, what did I just see? Today we're going to talk about that moment. About a gaze that changed without words. About a reaction that happened before thinking. And about how, even in the middle of a crowd, the connection between Jimin and Jungkook always finds a way to reveal itself, in the softest, most genuine way possible. That night, all 7 members were finally together again. Not just present in the same frame. Not simply gathered to fulfill a schedule or complete a broadcast. But truly reunited, coming home to a space that felt safe and familiar, inside RM's house. There was no grand stage. No overwhelming lights. No carefully arranged distance between idols and audience. Just a warm room. A sofa that had clearly been used many times before. Soft laughter filling the space naturally. And smiles that didn't need to be explained. The happiness that night didn't feel polished or manufactured. It wasn't wrapped in a concept. It wasn't curated to look perfect. It felt real because it came from something simple yet deeply meaningful. Finally being together again. Finally sitting side by side, without roles, without expectations, without having to perform. Just 7 people who had been through everything together, allowed to exist as themselves. During the live broadcast, many things happened. Jokes were exchanged. Laughter erupted easily. Small interruptions felt familiar and comforting, like habits that never disappeared no matter how much time passed. But among all of that, there was one moment that lasted only seconds. So easy to miss if you blinked. So easy to overlook if you weren't paying attention. So subtle that it didn't demand to be noticed. And yet, it was that very moment that lingered the longest in the hearts of so many viewers. There is something that always changes when Jungkook looks at Jimin. It's not a dramatic shift. Not a deliberate gesture. It's something softer, almost unconscious, yet impossible to ignore once you notice it. His gaze relaxes. His expression softens. A smile appears without him realizing it's there. It's as if a small light turns on inside him the moment Jimin enters his line of sight. That smile isn't meant for the camera. It isn't performed for fans. It's spontaneous, honest, and deeply personal. Moments like these make people pause, not because of spoken confessions or bold declarations, but because body language never lies. Jungkook becomes calmer when Jimin is near. Warmer. More grounded. More present. Even in a lively atmosphere filled with overlapping conversations and loud laughter, there's a small space where Jimin and Jungkook's energy feels different. Softer. More synchronized. Almost as if they're moving to a quieter rhythm that only the two of them can hear. Their dynamic within the group has become increasingly distinct. Not because they separate themselves from the others, but because their closeness flows naturally. While the other members joke with expressive, high-energy reactions, Jikook often communicate through subtle exchanges. Brief glances, quiet smiles, small gestures filled with meaning. They don't try to look close. They don't need to prove anything. Their closeness simply exists. Jungkook, known for his energetic and spontaneous personality, changes his rhythm when he's with Jimin. He becomes gentler. More careful. As if the world slows down slightly when Jimin is nearby. Meanwhile, Jimin, with his warmth and empathy, becomes a quiet center of gravity, drawing Jungkook closer without ever needing to call him loudly. In the relaxed atmosphere that night, Jimin called Jungkook. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Not in a joking tone. Just one simple phrase spoken softly. Come here. The tone was different. Not meant for everyone. A tone filled with familiarity, habit, and safety. Before Jungkook could fully process the call, Jin, playful as always, gave him a push toward the sofa. Jungkook lost his balance and fell forward, landing headfirst onto the couch. It happened fast. Laughter erupted immediately. The mood stayed light. Nothing seemed serious. To most people it was just another playful moment. But among all the reactions in that room, one response stood apart. Jimin. The moment Jungkook fell, Jimin's focus shifted instantly. His smile disappeared. No laughter followed. His eyes went straight to Jungkook, sharp, alert, and completely locked in. As if the world around him faded away, leaving only one point of attention. Are you okay? Is your neck all right? The questions came quickly, almost overlapping, spoken with genuine concern. His body leaned forward without hesitation. No pause. No second thought. Pure instinct. Like muscle memory. Like habit. Like something deeply ingrained through years of caring. Even before Jungkook's answer was fully clear, Jimin's arm was already moving. Ready to support, ready to help if needed. It wasn't exaggerated. It wasn't performative. It was the reaction of someone who cares deeply and forgets everything else when the person they care about might be hurt. Jimin asked Jungkook to sit beside him, closing the distance between them. Close enough to see his expression clearly. Close enough to make sure he was truly okay. His hand lifted slowly and carefully, touching Jungkook's neck. The movement was gentle, almost too gentle. Not rushed. Not careless. Just a quiet check, done with attention and concern. It wasn't a touch meant to be seen. It wasn't meant to send a message. And yet it spoke volumes. This is the kind of moment that makes people finally understand why Jikook's dynamic feels different. They don't need big scenes. They don't need loud declarations or dramatic gestures. One reflexive glance. One body leaning forward without thinking. One hand ready to support. That's already more than enough. As the broadcast continued, the same patterns appeared again and again, naturally and effortlessly. Jungkook smiled every time he looked at Jimin. And whenever Jimin smiled, his gaze almost instinctively searched for Jungkook. No words were exchanged. No effort was made. Just a quiet circle, perfectly closed. The live broadcast ended without fireworks. Without dramatic endings or emotional speeches. And precisely because of that, it felt even more real. Behind the laughter and jokes, there was care that couldn't be staged. A connection that didn't need to be explained. A presence that never left, even when attention shifted elsewhere. Because love, or whatever it is that they share, doesn't always need to be loud to feel real. Sometimes, it shows itself in the smallest ways. Through protection, attentiveness, and the simple choice to stay close when the world becomes noisy. And perhaps that's where the true beauty of Jikook lies. Thank you for watching Velvet Moment. If you felt the warmth of small moments that often go unnoticed, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. See you again in the next quiet moment. Because that's where the most beautiful stories usually hide.